Hi there. Hope you guys are doing really, really well. My name is Brian. I am your queer psychic bestie, and I have a reading for you guys today. This is going to be a mid month check in for the sign of Pisces. Can't believe it's mid month July already. Wow. So this is not I'm not going to be doing a structured reading for you guys today, Pisces. This is just kind of like we are going to pull cards and we are going to see where the energy takes me and what your guides really want me to talk about and see what's going on for you. Okay. If you would like to book a personal reading with me, you can do that through email or form submission on my website. As always, take what resonates, leave what does not. All right, let's see what's going on. Pisces, mid-July. Can't believe we're here already. Wow. All right, bottom of the deck challenge. We've got Death, we've got the Knight of Swords, as well as the Ace of Wands. Okay, so this kind of checks for me because when I went to go, I have two decks that I'll be using today, one for the clarifiers. When I was picking up this deck, before I was shuffling it, the Empress fell out a couple of times. So it feels like Pisces, you may have something mid-month in July that you were trying to birth. Pisces. The Empress is like one of the mother cards in the deck. So when we talk about Empress, it is like birthing new ideas, birthing new creations. And that kind of tracks with this challenge, you know, with Death, the Knight of Swords, and the Ace of Wands. It feels like some of you, I almost want to say get the show on the road, but like some of you are trying to figure out how to exactly do that for yourself here. It feels like there are ideas circulating. It really just feels like conceptualizations and ideas that you have of like where you want to go or what you want to do here, but it feels like you may need a little bit of guidance on how to actually get it going off the ground or how to get it started. So let's see, Pisces. Let's see what's going on for you. You start with the Seven of Pentacles and the Magician here. So I do feel like right off the bat, when we are talking about the Seven of Pentacles, it is a card of effort versus yield, but it does talk about long-term goals. You know, Seven of Pentacles is like weeks, months, years. It's a card that denotes time. So with the Magician, that talks about what you're manifesting. Like if you see in literally the card, like what she's holding, the things that she's trying to manifest, bring into her reality. So Seven of Pentacles with the Magician, it feels like you've been working at something for quite some time here. You know, it feels like you've either been very focused on it or you've devoted a lot of energy to it. And now you're kind of like, okay, where's my stuff? You know, I've been calling it in for long enough here. When is it actually going to show up? Can I get a little bit more about that, please? The Chariot, like I said. You said, I want victory. And I feel like your guides want you to have victory here, too. Ace of Wands again. This is like a brand new beginning for you, Pisces. This is like a very, I almost want to say fresh start as well. And the Knight of Wands. Interesting how you had the Knight of Swords. Now you have the Knight of Wands. It's the Knight of Crystals in this deck. This is the Gentle Heart Tarot. I get asked that every time I use it. So this is the Gentle Heart Tarot. This is a really good combo, Pisces. It feels like in your mid-month, you are really focused here on getting what you want, making your dreams turn into a reality. There's also a lot of movement here. The Chariot and the Knight of Wands, some of you could be moving, like relocating on a physical level here. Some of you could be moving jobs, moving shop, but it feels like Hierophant, bottom of the deck, your commitments are being tested right now, or like you're looking, I almost want to say you're expanding your commitments. It feels like you have some things that you've had your eye on for a while. Maybe you've been, I almost want to say like, think of like a plant, like you've been growing a plant for a long time and now it's outgrowing the pot. So now you're going and you're moving to a new pot here. It feels really positive. But it also does feel like you're being a little impatient, if I'm being honest here. It feels, yeah, Nine of Cups in the reverse. It feels like this is not going at the speed you want it to go. But Pisces, I feel like that's part of the lesson you're meant to learn here. Nine of Pentacles. Your how do I want to say this? Your empire is not going to be built overnight. You know, this is not a moment of like, I just have like I almost want to say like one hit wonder. Oh, what is that song? This is an old song. Somebody That I Used to Know, I think is literally the title of the song. But it is literally like a one hit wonder, right? Like he released that one song and then he vanished. It feels like some of you guys need to start focusing on, or like your mid month is like your shifting focus from wanting to be a one hit wonder to wanting to be almost like timeless or like a voice that everyone would know. Maybe some of you are singers with the song coming through, you know, but it feels like you're really focused on, how do I say that? Like, not short term success, long term. Thank you. I was like, wait, what's the opposite of short term? Long term success here. I feel like you are really focused on building something that will last, that will stand the test of time, and not just something that's kind of like a willy nilly one off wonder kind of thing. Some of you also could be dealing with like my throat just started hurting, but not in the normal kind of way of like throat chakra block, like literal just pain. You could have a sore throat right now, or like you're dealing with allergies, or maybe you're sick. But that just that hit me really hard all of a sudden. I almost like couldn't finish my sentence. Yeah, Six of Cups. I feel like for a lot of you as well, this is something, like I said, Six of Cups, this is something you've dreamed about. Six of Cups is childhood. And like I said, with the Seven of Pentacles, you've been at this for a while. For some of you, it's work. Like my palm is getting really itchy right now. Left palm usually means money. As far as I can remember, I'm going to be so honest with you, left and right palm always confuses me. I know one of them means money. I could be wrong, though. But it feels like with the Six of Cups here, you've had this either plan or goal for a while. And I feel like there's a lot of impatience here. I can't lie to you guys. Like, I'm trying to push into this energy, and it's just, I feel like you're being really impatient. I feel like your guides need you to slow down. I feel like the biggest message for your mid-month right now, just to start off, is that success happens gradually. It's not something that happens overnight, okay? You're not going to wake up and just suddenly, let's say you want to be a, I don't know, fashion blogger. You're not going to wake up and suddenly have 6,000 clicks on your website overnight. It's just not going to happen. You know, sometimes we get that one off where something kind of, maybe we go viral for a minute or something takes off, and then you literally never see those people again. You don't want that. You want, you know, return clients, return customers. You want people to keep coming back. It's almost like for some of you guys, like your brand is coming through, like you could be working on expanding your brand or making your brand more like noticeable or acknowledgeable, or just, I keep seeing the scene from Schitt's Creek. If you've seen it, you're going to know, where Alexis keeps calling herself a brand ambassador. She's like CEO or like CFO of like brand ambassador or something along that lines. It feels like some of you guys, like I said, are getting, you want your brand to be known, or you want it to like have an impact, or people recognize it. You know, and it, again, it's just not, your biggest thing here is you're being impatient. Okay. It's going to happen when it happens. In your next two cards here, you've got the Eight of Wands and Temperance. Like I said, this reading is so, it's truly reading like a book, Pisces. Okay, Eight of Wands and Temperance. Eight of Wands is communication and Temperance is patience. I feel like July is really testing your patience here, Pisces. I just stuttered like fuck over that sentence. I really feel like you're, the way my guides are doing this to me is really funny. When I was a kid, I don't know if this is like a universal experience, so I'll just use myself, but like if I ordered something, or if my friend was coming over, let's say they were coming over at 5 p.m., I would sit my ass in the window at 10 a.m. and I would literally just sit and stare and wait. That's what my guides are showing me right now. So for some of you, I feel like this is what you're kind of doing. You're sitting in your window and you're just staring. And I feel like you need to understand that, again, I cannot overstate this enough for you, Pisces. It is not going to happen quickly. I know that's not what you want to hear. I know you want me to tell you it's going to be really fast and a whirlwind and all these other things, but it's not. It feels like you're playing a snail's game right now. I got to be real honest with you. Okay, you've got the King of Swords, the Seven of Wands, and then the Six of Wands. It feels like a lot of you also, I am going to really encourage you guys to work on your perfectionism. You know, a lot of you feel like it feels like you're attributing the lack of success here, or not lack of success. I really shouldn't say that because you are being successful. But it's like, if your view of success is, let's use, you know, I don't know. I used to be on TikTok. I used to do TikTok a lot. And when I first got on TikTok, it would be like, oh, if I don't gain at least one follower every TikTok post I post, I'm a failure. This is obviously false. You know, it's like this is a game that my brain came up with to kind of torment me. Again, I am a Pisces. I get where you all are coming from here. But your brain is lying to you. Okay. The way that you are like measuring your success here is skewed. And I feel like your guides are really wanting you to correct this in July. Okay. This is a moment of like, okay, no, I've said this so much in collectives recently, but success is personal. Okay. My version of success is not going to be someone else's version of success, you know? But similarly, my version of success is like, let's use myself as an example, on TikTok is not my version of success on YouTube. Okay. They're different platforms, different algorithms, different audiences, you know, it's going to be different. So I'm not going to judge myself how I would on TikTok on YouTube. It doesn't make sense. But similarly for you guys, this is the same thing. Let's say you have a friend who, let's say you guys are in college, okay, and you have that one friend that they only need 4 hours of sleep. And they're good. They keep their rocking and rolling, but you need 9. Your friend has an extra 5 hours of day every single day. And then you're comparing yourself being like, well, how are you getting so much study time in when I'm not? Babe, there's your answer. That's not a fair comparison. Your friend only needs 4 hours of sleep. You need 9. Okay. I feel like some of you, your ideas of success has to change, and the gauge at which you are measuring your success also has to change here, babe. Yeah, you've got the Hermit and the Queen of Wands. Nobody can tell you whether you are successful except for you. That's it. Nobody. Okay? You have to remember that this is so funny that this is coming out in the Pisces reading because it's been coming out so heavy in the collective. Your success is not something that another person can measure. Okay? And I feel like that's, with that Queen of Wands here, you need to have enough confidence in yourself to know that that success is yours. You know, to know that this is not something that is coming from another person. This is not something they're giving to you. Another person telling you you're successful or not successful does not bestow anything upon you. Okay? It does not give you extra success points. You know, I feel like you have to almost play this like a game with yourself right now. All right? Maybe you have that one friend and maybe we feel good about it. You know, that one friend that's like, oh my God, you did so well on that test. You're so successful. Oh my God, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. But then you may have that other friend that's like, oh, you didn't do so well on that test. So that's okay. You'll do better next time. Like, okay, that might be their opinion, but like, I'm not going to take it to heart. Do you know what I mean here? It's like, I don't have a lot of ways to say this. I don't have a lot of like, fancy anecdotes to tell you this outside of just like success is personal, babe. It is so personal and it is not something else someone can give you or take from you. Okay? Like I said, there may be a glimpse of someone being like, oh, wow, you're so successful. And you're like, oh my God, that made me feel great. But like someone else not telling, like if you have a friend that doesn't tell you how successful you are, that's not taking away from your success. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, 7 of Cups here. I really, really want you guys to start being your biggest fans. All right, Pisces, it feels like this mid-month is asking a lot of internal work from you, okay? Be your own biggest supporter. Be your own cheerleader. Be your own fan right now, babe, okay? This is like your journey is really, I'm hearing it's unfolding right in front of you, but you're kind of, how do I say this? Like, it's like you've got 1 foot over the line and 1 foot before the line because you're judging yourself. You're like, oh, well, I should be over there. You know, if this was a race, oh, I should be at the 2-mile mark already, and I'm not. Pause. You are doing absolutely fine wherever you are right now, okay? Your road will continue to grow and expand as you walk it, but you gotta stop telling yourself that you should be further and judging yourself, okay? Allow the road to develop as you go, all right? Your last two cards, which should have been two, but three fell out, are the World, the Four of Swords, and Judgment. It feels like a lot of where you guys need to take the end of the month, or not even the mid month of July for yourself here is like putting a lot of these old stories that you tell about yourself to rest. Okay. It feels like some of you are kind of stuck in the past a little bit here. You know, with that Four of Swords and Judgment, I feel like some of you have worked on healing from these past wounds, but they are, ooh, Devil at the bottom of the deck. I didn't even see that one, but they're resurfacing. They're kind of, they're playing with you a little bit right now. And I feel like it's really a testament to your strength to see how far you've come, to acknowledge like how well you're doing, you know? Like I said, Pisces, this reading is full of success. It just feels like you're the only one not seeing it. This is really random. Some of you have to do laundry. My guides keep showing me my laundry basket. I just did laundry yesterday. So Pisces, if that's you, do your laundry. You might feel better about it. What is this? Oh. Okay. I feel like, okay, so these are clarifiers. Three of Swords, Eight of Wands, and the Five of Pentacles. I feel like some of you guys are really worried of like making mistakes here that you maybe have felt like you made in the past, but I feel like, again, this is just self-sabotage coming to creep back up on you. You know, I feel like a lot of you guys know how you self-sabotage. You know, this is something that's, once we start healing, our own tendencies of self-sabotage become very clear to us. It becomes obvious how my brain wants to kind of fuck me over, right? And I feel like with this Eight of Wands and the Five of Pentacles, some of you guys need to give yourself more credit, and really be a little bit more vigilant with this, okay? I feel like with the Three of Swords, sometimes these old ways of thinking, they sneak up on us a little bit faster than we're really anticipating. And it's kind of like, sometimes it's like they jump us a little bit, you know what I mean? You've got your back turned to the self-sabotage, and all of a sudden that bitch comes flying in with like an elbow. It is less about like, how am I taking the hit, and more so about how am I recovering from the hit, right? Because like that thought may come in, it may elbow me in the face, but how am I spinning it? You know, am I reminding myself that that thought is a lie, that that thought is false, that I don't have to listen to it? And then am I rebounding and going back to the road I was walking? That counts so much more than just not having the negative thought. You cannot expect yourself to not have a negative thought if you were raised for most of your life to think negatively, okay? It takes years of perseverance and time to reprogram the brain. Pisces, you gotta remember that sometimes these thoughts will sneak up on you. They will jump you. They will beat you up like you're in an 8th grade fucking locker room again, okay? But you have to remember it's about how you recover from it. This is not a battle of like, I almost want to say like impermeability. Like, this is not a battle of like, you can't get hit. It's a battle of how do I repair myself after getting hit? How do I bounce back from it, you know? If you have ever watched like Hell's Kitchen, Gordon Ramsay, he's very big on that. He's like, you make a mistake and you bounce back. I don't know why that just came to me. Maybe you watched Hell's Kitchen recently. But I feel like that's the game you guys need to play here, is like, how am I bouncing back? How am I recovering from it? Okay, I fumbled for a second. Let me get back the fuck up, okay? Yeah, Eight of Cups and the Eight of Pentacles. Through work, like hard work and determination here, these thoughts will plague you less and less and less, but it's going to definitely take, what's that called? This is an old way to say it, elbow grease. Is like, I think when you have to like get down and like, you know, if you think about, you're going to clean a stain with a sponge, you know, you're like elbow grease. It's like scrubbing really, really hard, vigorously. It feels like some of you need to recognize here that it's going to take a while to get rid of the negative self-talk and the negative self-beliefs, but that doesn't mean that the work is not working, okay? The faster you can bounce back from these thoughts, the faster you can get back to this really beautiful road of success that you are walking, okay? But don't, again, put pressure on yourself to just never have a negative thought. It's going to happen. I don't know anyone, anywhere who does not have a once in a while negative thought about themselves. It's a matter of, do you let it take over? Do you let it run you? Do you let it control you? And do you let it steer the car? Okay? But I cannot tell you this enough, Pisces. You have a lot of success here. Yeah, Six of Pentacles, Nine of Wands. It's almost like I want to say despite it all. You know, it feels like even though things may be difficult, even though you may be struggling with these negative self-thoughts, there is success here despite it all. So I really, Pisces, this is a really positive reading. You guys just have to stay in your right headspace, okay? You have to remember that you are a co-creator of your own destiny. You are in charge of your thoughts. They are not in charge of you. And you absolutely have the tools to get yourself through this, okay? All right, let's get you an oracle card. As always, we will be using the Angelarium here. This is my favorite oracle deck by far, to and far. Okay, the Angelarium. It is a reimagining of the Falling of the Angels. So let's see what they have for you, Pisces, for your mid-month. Pisces, please. Mid-month check-in. I just heard keeping the faith. I might title a video that. Keeping the faith. That's what this really feels like, Pisces. It feels like in your mid-month, you are keeping the faith here. Interesting. Rahab, Angel of the Deep. I get this card also, Pisces, and it always feels like a Pisces card, mainly because he's like underwater. I know that's so corny, but whatever. All right, let's read it to you. Rahab. Okay, can I get the page, please? Why can't I even open the page right now? Okay, here we go. Where is he? Number 39, for those of you that are into numerology, this is number 39. This card may be a sign that there is something worth holding on to, regardless of the pain it causes. Accepting pain and punishment can be a lonely experience, but that is the true path of the faithful. Take comfort in knowing it is a well-trodden road, even if you ultimately walk it alone. All right, Pisces. You have a lot of success here. You have a lot to hold on to, and you guys absolutely have this. July is going to coast by if you take control of your brain, okay, and keep walking your road, all right? Pisces, I will leave that there for you. That is your mid-month check-in. If you like the way that I read, if this reading resonates with you, do consider liking and subscribing. We are on the road to 100 subscribers. We are like I'm lying, I think 5 or 6 away. We're so close. So if you feel like subscribing, I would love that. If you would like to interact with me on a live basis, I do go live on Twitch 3 days a week where I read tarot. We do collective readings as well as personal readings. You can find me Wednesday and Friday from 6 to 8 p.m. EST, as well as Saturday from 4 to 6 p.m. EST. So, Pisces, I hope to see you on Twitch one day. And if not, that's okay. I will see you in the next video. All right? Bye.